Welcome to another installment of The Inspired Teacher, continuing today on Willow 2, which is one of the advanced drills. My demonstration partner today is Paul Idner. He's my longtime student and my disciple. So in the previous two lessons, we looked at attacking the stance line, which is the weak part of the weak direction of your stance. The center line, which is the substantial part of the body in a vertical line. Today we're going to look at the center of gravity, which is a substantial part of the body on a horizontal line. So, Master Leon would tell us we have to find the center of gravity. What he would say is the shoulders are too high and the hips are too low, but the middle is the perfect place. So if Paul takes a stance and just relaxes his body, he relaxes his body. If I push his shoulders, he's just going to bend. If I push his hips, he's just going to bend. If I push his center of gravity, he's going to try to bend, This is not magic chi. This is physics. Here's the top of the cylinder. Here's the bottom of the cylinder. If you move the middle of the cylinder has to go. You can try turning. Okay? Try bending. Try rooting. I'm not going to guarantee you, but hands like this on the center of gravity are really effective. Let's have a quick look at the center of gravity. So you'll face the camera. Basically, it's at the solar plexus. It's the halfway point. If we look at this from a martial arts point of view, there's the gallbladder and the liver, stomach, spleen, and pancreas. Kidney 1, kidney 2. This is a really dangerous place to get hit. I mean, we're using it to push, but also it's a place you need to protect yourself from getting hit. Now, if you notice, I'm just going to use your body. When your elbow's down, your elbow protects all that. It doesn't matter if you're a tall person or a short person, thin, thick, it doesn't matter. When you drop your elbows, it's easy to protect the center of gravity. That's one reason why in Tai Chi, elbows down. You don't want the flying elbows because that exposes that. Now, for pushing, if I'm on the center of gravity, if my hands are physically at that height, I'm just going to push with my hands sideways, and I'm going to push parallel to the floor. You can see he's trying to bend. The bending, turning, they're not going to help. If my hands are above the center of gravity, I'm going to make the pushes go slightly down. Because if my hands are above the center of gravity and I push parallel to the floor, he can bend. But if my hands are above the center of gravity and I push slightly down, you bend. You can't bend because the push going slightly down affects this area. So if my hand is above, he can bend if I push straight, but if I push diagonally down, it affects that area. Now, if my hand is under the center of gravity and I push straight, he'll just bend. He'll just sit back. But if my hand is under the center of gravity and I push slightly up, it's going to go through the center of gravity, it's going to move him. So one thing you want to train yourself, it doesn't matter where your hands are. I might start high, and he might put my hand low. I just have to know, when I'm in contact, if I'm below it, I got to push slightly up. If I'm above it, I got to push slightly down. And if I'm on it, I'm going to push parallel to the floor. And that will greatly help your pushing hands. So part of your job is to feel this, above on it. If they're bending a little bit, you're not aiming down. If they're bending like that, you're not aiming up. If you're right on it, just keep flat. That's the easiest one. So I would just do this until you're bored with it. Make it work every single time until you're bored with it, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay, so now Margo and Paul are going to practice Willow 2, but they're only going to attack the center of gravity. So again, if their hands are above, they're going to try to make the pushes go slightly down. If the hands are below, they're going to try to make the pushes go slightly up. And if the hand or hands are right on the center of gravity, they're going to push parallel to the floor. You push first. Now Paul is still trying to bend. He's still trying to turn. He's just still trying to do Willow 1. For now, when we're doing Willow 2, it's really the pushing side is doing something different. Willow 1 is trying to do the same soft defenses. Change feet, other side push. So this is where you have to put the time in. You just got to put the time in. I gave you the theory. Now you got to put the time in. You got to get the feeling. You got to get the experience, and you will start to feel it right away. You'll know whether your hand is above, below, or right on the center of gravity. You'll know how to adjust it. You can either move your hands or change the angle of your push. And you'll be able to be much more effective than just shoving harder. Good. Now, one thing you can do is when we did the stance lines previously and we figured out which ones were the weak ones, a really good thing for you to do, he's going to make a stance. I'm going to put my hands right on the center of gravity. And then I'm going to either push or pull 6 of the 8 directions. So, whatever, if that's north. So I'm going to feel, what does this feel like to go? North, northeast, east. I don't want to go this way because he's got a leg there. And I don't want to go this way because he'll give me a headbutt. But I can get on the center of gravity and I can move it. And then I don't want to push that way. I'm going to come this way just a touch. I don't want to push that way because that's where his root is. But I can start to, just by having my hands on the center of gravity, I can start to feel the places that his stance won't support it. So try that a little bit. Okay, good. So, as you're doing this with your partner, if you're on the receiving side, you can learn a lot. You can start to feel your own weak points. Don't get discouraged, because when we go to Willow 3, I'm going to teach that side how to defend their center line, stance line, and center of gravity. But for now, you are, it's all about your side. Until then, try these. They're very simple to understand, simple to practice. You got to get the repetition, so it's by sense of feel, and this is going to greatly improve your attacking and your pushing hands. So now that you've got the 3 separate parts for attacking in Willow 2, the stance line, which is the weak part of the stance, the center line, which is the vertical substantial part, and the center of gravity, which is the horizontal substantial part. Okay, so up to this point, you were encouraged to use these concepts, to do these attacks separately. First, you practice attacking the weak point of the stance. Then you practice attacking the center line so they can't turn. Then you practice attacking the center of gravity so they can't bend. In Willow 2, you want to do all those at once. The basic idea is that you're attacking the substantial part of the torso, which is the part that can't turn or bend, and the insubstantial part of the stance, which is the places they can't root. So that's where the classics say insubstantial and substantial should be clearly differentiated. Once you're doing that, when we go to do Willow 2, the person pushing, you're just trying to access all those weak points and strong points and get that person out of their stance. And then the other person is just doing, for now, they're doing Willow 1. They're still trying to bend, turn, shift, circle, and sink to get out of it. One thing we'll do, and you'll see this right away, is we try to have a 3-push rule, which is by 3 pushes, that person should be out of this stance. If they're not, usually it's the pushing side they've gone to sleep, because these pushes are pretty effective. So if you can do it on 1, great. 2, but if you notice that you're starting to push a lot, you're really not paying attention to that, and you got to get your head back in the game. Stance line, center of gravity. So left foot forward. Fred, you push first. So you're looking at the weakest, what's the weak line in the stance? You're trying to make the push pass through the middle of the torso so that the partner can't turn. And then you have to pay attention to, is your hand above or below or on the center of gravity so they can't bend. And again, the person's trying to bend, they're trying to change. Okay, change feet. Margo, you push. Okay, good. So, just a quick word on working with a partner. Now, if that person is doing really well and moving you out of your stance, you want to give them a thumbs up. You want to say, good job. Leave jealousy, leave that envy alone. You're working with a partner. Right now, you're not competing. You're definitely not fighting. You're in training mode. So, if this person is getting me out of my stance, and they're doing the techniques, and it's working efficiently, I don't want to be frustrated. I want to say, hey, that's really good. That's great, especially in Willow 2. Like I said, I'm going to give you the defenses for it later. But for now, it's like climbing a ladder. You can't get to the top from the bottom rung to the top. You got to go rung by rung by rung. So in Willow 1, we're learning the foundations of defense. In Willow 2, we're learning the foundations of offense. Then in Willow 3, I'm going to give you the exact Taiji defense. So for now, just work with your partner, enjoy. You get pushed out, come back, relaxed, happy, try your best, and everybody's gonna progress. So, until then, bend like a willow tree.